Hello everybody and welcome back to Tiny House Soap Company. Today I'm going to start off doing a flip through of my bullet journal before we get into March's setup. So here is my February cover page and just all of the little mini changes that have happened over the month, things that I've written in and checked off. Going ahead and flipping to this next page, my habit tracker, I went ahead and did these little heart-shaped things for my habit tracker, which I really like those, and splitting up the dine in and dine out has helped some. My sleep tracker, I really liked using the mild liner highlighters to record my sleep, and as you can see, I didn't really stick with a color. I just kind of went to whatever color I picked up that day. Flipping over to my to-do list and my brain dump. My brain dump was primarily used for setting up my Nepal savings plan and kind of laying out how I wanted that to look. And then this next page, you guys didn't see me set up. It was Oodles of Doodles on Instagram. And if you like doodling, I think you should follow them. I just decided to start doing this, and I really don't like my funnel day doodle. So these next couple of pages are things that have been going on in the month of February or that I've been planning for, and if you guys want any more in-depth look at that, you can take a look at my Nepal trip planning video, because it goes over those and goes over my Nepal savings and planning. These pages here, nobody's seen me do. My husband got the flu, and so I was actually doing dailies to record his fever. He was getting his medications, generally how he was feeling, just so I could keep a close look on him. But now he's feeling better, so I don't have to do that anymore. Now we can go ahead and get into the setup for March. This month I've done a lot of camping and mountain type themes because we're actually going to get to go to Yosemite at the end of March for our vacation, and I'm pretty excited about it. I really like how this entire setup turned out, and so it may be something that I come back to in the future, but for now I'm just doodling a little picture of Half Dome for my cover entry, and I just wanted to show you here where I'm going back in with my mechanical pencil and doing some lining, because I didn't want to mess up on it because I thought it looked really good the way it was, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to add anything in there. And so I just wanted you guys to know that I definitely go back and do outlines with mechanical pencils to see if it's going to work out for me. And so anybody struggling with artistic or how they want to lay things out, go through and do a line out with mechanical pencil. Sometimes it works really well to give you an idea of what you think you really want. As I set up my month of March here, some of you may notice who have watched my videos before that usually I have a dashboard page and I also have my month on one full page, and then this time I've actually spread it out. And my goal with doing this was not only just to give it a little bit of a change and a different feel, but also to give me a little bit more space during the month to write things in, because I do utilize my calendar quite a bit, whereas a lot of people use dailies. I tend to actually just use my calendar to record things down because I don't have such a busy daily schedule. I have more of a broader overview schedule. I also thought this would allow me to have more space as we get closer to vacation time of being able to put things in. On the right hand side here, I'm putting all of the things that I normally put on that dashboard page: my bills, my household chores, savings, goals, and I actually decided to do a little doodle down here with the next month little tiny calendar. And I found that I really haven't had to make any sacrifice to what I'm usually putting into that dashboard page. It's just actually a little bit more concise and clean almost to have it this way. So this may be a new setup that I go to, or I might play around with some different ones, just because this really didn't seem to make a difference, and the calendar is actually a lot bigger, which may work better for me in the long run. So I did want to take a moment and respond to a comment that I had had in one of my other videos, which is, what pages do I use on a daily basis? And I actually use this monthly setup that you're seeing me create today. I use that on a daily basis. Every page in here I use on a daily basis. And the reason for that is, while I don't do dailies, where most people in their dailies have a sleep tracker for that day, or they have a water tracker, or they have, you know, what they ate for that day. For me, I've made it into this broad overview of the month. So I like to see everything in one place. For me, it allows me to sort of evaluate it a lot easier than looking at each individual day on its own. So the other reason that I don't do dailies is because I don't have a job that works well with that. So if you have a job where you have your own business or you're working from home, then having that daily time management and that list of things that you want to get done really works well. But in my case, I go to work, I work for 10 hours, and I come home. I still want to record things like what I ate or how much water I've drank or future plans. And for me, that's where having it in a monthly overview works a lot better, because I don't have that schedule where I need to write down to do. I just kind of have a grand arching to-do list of things I really want to get done. Or maybe I have my overarching list of the type of chores that I want to get done. And so for me, that's why I do this setup the way that I do. So hopefully that answered the question on why I don't do dailies and what pages I use on a daily basis. If you have more questions about this, or if I've sparked a question or an interest, then let me know and I'd be happy to talk with you guys about it some more on another video, or maybe I need to make a separate video about it. Just let me know. So for my habit tracker and for my meal planner, they're set up in a pretty similar fashion as to last time. The difference for the meal plan being that I did move that line over, that I marked the days to the left hand a little bit farther, so that gives me more room to write out my meals. I have not put in the line down the center to separate that page into a dine in and dine out page. And the primary reason for that is I haven't decided if I really like it that way or not. There were a couple of times that it kind of messed me up because I didn't realize I was writing on the wrong day because I had actually eaten out the day before. The habit tracker is pretty much the same, except that I did add in quilting. I also added this little doodle up top here of a compass, and I really like it. I thought it was a great way to incorporate camping into the whole thing here. The last big difference here is that rather than doing two colors, which I did in February, I decided to just go with one single green color, which is my Tombow, which this is the primary color that I've used for the majority of the spread this month, and so I just wanted to stick with it. At the bottom here, you'll see as I'm working with my Tombow dual brush pens that I decided to try a little bit of blending, which I'm not really that great at, and I'm gonna have to do a little bit more practicing on it, but it was something to try, and I think I'll keep working on it. But in the end, I think I really liked how it turned out. So normally this is where I would be doing my sleep tracker, but I'm actually changing it up this time, guys. And what I'm going to do is a time tracker. I'm pretty excited about this, although I'm also a little bit nervous because anytime that I get into anything where there's a lot of color coding or just a lot of upkeep in my bullet journal, I don't typically do a great job at keeping up with it. But the way that this is going to work is I've set out the 24 hours of the day, not in military time because I'm not good at that, and what I'm going to do is use different colors to code when I'm at work, when I'm sleeping, when I'm having fun, when I'm doing my hobbies, and we'll see how this goes throughout the month. Like I said, I don't always do really great at this, but I thought it would be an interesting take on the sleep tracker and something that even if I end up just still recording my sleep, then maybe I'll have a little bit of insight into some of the other things when I do fill it out. And I am using the right hand side like I do with my sleep tracker, where I usually put notes to the side, but as you've seen in the past, I don't always have notes for every time I go to sleep, and so I doubt that I'll have notes every time I do this, so that's why I don't have an issue with putting this banner here, and I thought it looked really nice. I also didn't do any doodles on this page because I thought the banner and the colors were going to end up being enough. The next two pages here are my brain dump and to-do list, and I really like the way that these pages turned out. I think that they have a minimalistic look to them, but I also feel like with the little fire, it's super adorable, and then going back through here and putting in stars along the brain dump just gives enough of a flair for me to make it a lot of fun to look at. And so these are two pages that I really do enjoy the way they look. This next part here is me setting up for my Oodles of Doodles page, and last month you guys didn't see me do this because I decided to do it afterwards. This month I am still into doing it, but they have not released yet what the theme is going to be for March, so I'll have to wait and see. I did decide to do a little bit more of a less approach to the way that I set this up, and that I don't have a distinct outline all the way around like I did last time. Instead, I just have these little borders here, so we'll see how that works out. As I was setting this up, I didn't have everything laid out while I was doing it, so I decided to do the header, and I left in where I'm doing this outline, and I just wanted to leave that in there for you guys so that you can realize that I go through a lot of the times with my mechanical pencil and outline or sort of draw things out to make sure that it's set up or looks the way that I want. I've had some people ask about my hand lettering or my writing, and I think one way to look at it is to do more of a drawing of it rather than writing. And so if you think about it more in the sense that you're drawing a letter, sometimes that can help you to really get the look that you're going for, rather than always thinking about how your handwriting looks. Just think about maybe drawing it, which is a good way to think whenever you're writing on a doodle page. And so I've gone ahead and flipped all the way back to the beginning here, and this page was originally going to be part of me checking my husband while he was sick, but since he got better, I did not need the Saturday Sunday page, and so I decided to go ahead and use it for my goals page, because if you watched my video in January where I set up my goals, I recommend that you go back and you check those goals. And so that's what I decided to do here, and I had put in my future planning of when I wanted to check my goals, and that was March. So I went back here just reviewing and flipping back and forth between the goals that I had previously, the goals that I wanted to change or still needed to work on, and it's just a great way to sort of keep up with those goals rather than putting them in January and never really coming back to them, or coming back to them at the end of the year, because my goals certainly change. So then I'm just going through and putting on my little stickers. I love these little stickers. They really work for me in mapping out where everything's at and having a quick way to flip between my to-do lists and the month. And as I finish setting up and putting in the rest of the little things in my March calendar, I hope that you guys have really enjoyed this bullet journal. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Any questions about the products that I use, I have linked them down below in the description box. And as always, if you have any inspiration from this, I'd love to see your stuff on Instagram. You can tag me in it at Tiny House Soap Company. And have a great day. Thanks, guys.